everybody, how's it going? Welcome to a Friday lesson. Can't believe I've managed to do this 5 days in a row. This is what you call a streak. So if you've stayed with me through the week, thank you. If you would like to comment, like and share, just to show me that there are people out there, give me an incentive to keep going, because as you know, if you've watched this already, going through the Fred Noad book is something I've attempted a few times in the past and fallen off it. I don't want to fall off it this time. I want to get through it, and you can help me to do that by following along with me and just let me know that you're there. So say hi if you are. A little bit later today than normal. I usually stream between 9 and 10. But my daughter had a French horn lesson this morning, so she had to use my studio and I got kicked out. So today we are looking at notes on the second string. So the second string we count from the floor to the ceiling. So the first string is the one nearest the floor, which is the high E, so the second string is the B. The notes we're looking at for all of these notes on the strings lessons, we're looking at the first 3 frets, so what you would call first position. So for the B string we're looking at frets 1, which is a C, and fret 3, which is a D. So we've got B, C, D. So those are the notes we're using today, and pay attention to the fingers I'm using. So a good rule of thumb is that you use finger 1 on fret 1, finger 2 on fret 2, finger 3 on fret 3 when we're in first position, or open position as it's also known. And remember, we spoke yesterday about being relaxed when you pick up your guitar, making sure your shoulders down, being nice and chilled. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shake myself off a wee bit and just chill. Now we can face the music. So, notes on the second string, and we are starting with exercise 22 if you're following along, which is on page 24. So this is in 4/4 time, and we're using an alternating picking pattern with the picking hand, so fingers 1 and 2, index and middle, IM. So 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4 again. So part of this exercise is set up in order to teach you note values as well as positions on the fingerboard. So without showing you it, it'd be difficult to follow along. But it's showing you quarter notes, half notes, full notes, or crotchets and semi-breves and something else. I don't actually know the English names. I've learned them many times and always forget them. And I play bluegrass and learn from American pickers, and so eighth notes and quarter notes are what they use. Kind of what I've got stuck with. Sorry, what I've gotten stuck with, to use an American participle. So moving on to exercise 23, which is in 3/4 time. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Start again. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Start that one again. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. as you'll hear, it's helpful for me to count along, which I'm also doing with my foot tapping. And I do recommend, for practice purposes, that you use a metronome if you have one. It can really help with the timing. So let's do that one again. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. Okay. Let's move on to exercise 24. So we're back in 4/4 time for this one. And again, we're starting on the C. That's what was throwing me there on exercise 23. It starts on a fretted note. First finger on fret 1 of string 2 to give us a C. So this is in 4/4, so here we go. 2, 3, 4. Again, 2, 3, 4. Okay, exercise 25. Back in 3/4 time this one, and again it starts on the fretted first fret on the second string, which gives us a C. Okay, so let's get waltz time in our heads. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Messed that one up a little bit. Let's do it again. 2, 3. Messed it up again. This is what happens when you practice. Don't practice the mistakes. 2, 3. Again, 2, 3. And one more for luck. 2, 3. Nailed it. That's a good example of how practicing makes you better. Now, one of my rules of thumb for this kind of practice and for when I'm doing bluegrass picking practice with fiddle tunes and a flat pick is that I won't move on to the next part until I've got through the piece I'm practicing 3 times without a mistake. So that's how I've worked for years, and it's always worked for me, and so I'm going to recommend that you do the same thing 3 times through without a mistake. So we're going to do one more today, exercise 26, which is bringing the thumb in along with the fretted high notes. So remember that we use the thumb on the bottom 3 strings and the fingers on the top 3 strings, just as a rule of thumb. Right, so it starts on the open A string and we're in 4/4 time. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Strange ending. Also brings in a fretted note we haven't learned yet. So we're on an A note there, which is the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. So that's going to be coming in future lessons. So they've flung that in here as a bonus note, which you have to figure out yourself. Well, you don't, because I've just told you. So one of the things to note there's my cat coming in the window. Thankfully not with a bird or a mouse. That's been happening rather a lot over the summer. Yeah, where was I? One of the things to note is in the last passage, not the last passage, the 2nd line, when we're playing an F to a G and back to an F, I'm keeping that F note fretted while I play the G. It works as an anchor, so you know exactly where the G is without floating around and trying to find it without an anchor point. And also because I know I'm coming back to the F, but then even if I weren't, I would still keep the F note fretted. And that's just something that I've picked up over the years. It's probably the technique that a teacher would teach you. In fact, yeah, if I have a look here at the blurb before we start to play, so the bit that introduces the exercises, yeah, it says the first finger after playing the F should remain on the string for 2 reasons. It is easier to put the 3rd finger on the G when the 1st finger is in place. Okay, we covered that. The 1st finger is in position for the F at the end of the measure without having to move. As a general rule, it is easier to find a note when at least one finger is already on the fingerboard, since this finger holds the left hand in position. So that's the anchoring that I was talking about. Your brain knows where your hand is based on this anchor point. And the same goes with the picking hand, which, as I've covered before, I will quite often anchor on a high string if I'm not going to be playing it, or on the face of the guitar. And that's the thing that I was taught by some at Bluegrass Tuition Camp. Steve Kaufman talked about rubbing the front of your guitar as a sort of floating your hand there as a depth gauge, so that you can always tell how far to dig in your pick. But we're not playing with the pick here, and in classical style you wouldn't normally do that with your picking hand, although I have seen some classical players do it. I think Will McNichol does it, but he's a hybrid player, plays steel string and nylon string, sometimes plays steel string tunes on a nylon string, if there is such a thing as a steel string tune. So let's do that one more time, and then we will say goodbye for the weekend. 2, 3, 4. There we are. So I don't think I'll come in Saturday, Sunday with these lessons. Maybe I will, because I'm doing it for me and I want to progress. So we'll see how I feel tomorrow morning. Yeah, I won't promise anything, but I will certainly be continuing next week. So if you want to come and learn along with me, take a look at the description and you'll get a link to the book. So you can jump onto Amazon and order the book. I'll just show you the cover one more time. This is the revised and updated 4th edition. I had the 1st edition, which I think has gone out to a pupil, which I bought at a little music shop in St Andrews off South Street, up a little lane. Can't remember its name, but that would have been when I was in my 4th year of 5. So 96. That would have been 1996. Anyway, that's us for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.